small as Delhi, makes very clear that BJP is going to completely depend itself on the top three leadership, keeping in mind the popularity and their acceptability. Also, the information with them which we just broke 24 hours prior, that BJP has also prepared a freebie scheme which is going to be twice that of the Aam Aadmi Party. Technically speaking, BJP has refrained from any freebies being announced or on any other scheme, but keeping in mind that Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal has only played the freebie politics. So, per se, we are being told that BJP, only limiting itself to Delhi unit, has got an approval, a blanket approval from their central unit.
That's right.
That they have to go on a freebie politics mode, but better
yes,
twice that of the Aam Aadmi Party. That's it.
Thank you, Aishwarya, for that. I also want to go across to Senior Executive Editor Abhishek Kapoor joining us from our newsroom. Abhishek, this is going to be seen as something massive because we have Yogi Adityanath who jumped into the campaign in Maharashtra, started off with a slogan, "Batenge to katenge." It kicked off, it became a tagline for the BJP in Maharashtra elections. They did fantastically there. Now, Aishwarya giving us details about the number of rallies the BJP is going to have that are going to be led by star campaigner Yogi Adityanath.
Arnab, you are absolutely right. Remember, this is not a novelty. This is not the first time it's happening. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has been or is a star campaigner for the party, whichever state goes to polls. But what is important is that the manner in which he has really set the agenda in the last couple of elections, that's why perhaps this mention of Yogi Adityanath as the star campaigner in the Delhi list for the BJP really gains significance and salience. The fact that he mentioned that Batenge to Katenge made that comment in Maharashtra, and that really sort of changed the direction of the polls in many ways. And similarly, the manner in which he campaigned in Haryana, the manner in which he has campaigned in Jharkhand, and wherever he goes. For example, down south, he was, after Prime Minister, the biggest crowd puller in Karnataka, in Andhra, Telangana, wherever he went during the general elections and even the state elections. Down south, they call him Orange Man, and really a big crowd gets pulled towards BJP rallies. Insofar as the Hindi heartland politics goes, Yogi Adityanath is seen as effectively first among the second generation of leadership of the BJP. In the case of Delhi, remember what has happened in the last 48 hours with all this Purvanchali debate panning out in the elections, with the BJP alleging that the BJP has, the Aam Aadmi Party has been against Purvanchalis, and Purvanchalis essentially coming in from eastern Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. I think Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath's campaigning in Delhi, also in the backdrop of the soft Hindutva of Aam Aadmi Party, would be significant.
Abhishek, for just a minute, I'm going to interrupt you because we also have Congress leader Udit Raj patched on the phone line with us. Mr. Udit Raj, we're seeing the strategy that's being outlined by the BJP very, very clearly. Yogi Adityanath to be the star campaigner. What's the strategy for the Congress in these Delhi elections?
See, our strategy is a social justice, and I'm not concerned with the BJP strategy. I'm not there as to concern. But our strategy is demanding for caste census, filling up the backlog post, and of course reservation beyond 50%. All these are our strategy, and of course government job, and no to privatization. These are our strategy. These are rather our agenda in election. And in addition, yesterday it was very sad to term Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, migrants to Delhi as a fraud, in the sense that Bihar people are being brought here to make a fraud protest. That was an insult to Purvanchali people. That's really very painful.
Okay. Udit Raj there speaks about Purvanchal remark that had earlier sparked a protest Viewers, we're going to slip into a quick break, but on the other side, we continue with the big breaking news that's been broken right here on Republic TV, where Yogi Adityanath is going to be the star campaigner for the BJP in the Delhi elections.
आइस बोला था लाने को, लद्दाख चला गया। पूछा फोन पे इतना बिजी क्यों है, तो क्या बोला तू? हाँ, माउंटेन्स वर कॉलिंग।
डॉक्टर जहांगीर उस दिन सनसेट देखने छज्जे पे चढ़ा, टूट गया।
हाँ, तू किसने बोला घर की दीवार पे रॉक क्लाइंबिंग करने को?
सफीना बदतमीजी।
समझ गया। मेरे पास आप दोनों की प्रॉब्लम की मेडिसिन है। इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
Artificial intelligence has changed the way we do things, and so much more is in the offing. The Republic Media Network is very, very proud to announce this game-changing partnership with Samsung. Because with Samsung, the Galaxy AI is here. From our news anchors to our reporters to Republic Network staff, we will all be using Samsung devices. We are excited about the new Galaxy Z series and the Galaxy S series, both powered by Galaxy AI. And we will be using these phones on screen and behind the scenes daily to bring you the news first. My experience in using the Samsung devices shows that it makes us deliver the news much faster. It helps us deliver the news quicker and simpler with more productivity, efficiency and creativity. Republic and Samsung together will unfold a new world of possibilities. It's going to be an epic adventure together. The Galaxy AI is here.
If those hostages aren't back, I don't want to hurt your negotiation. If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East. And it will not be good for Hamas, and it will not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will break out. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is. And they should have given them back a long time. They should have never taken them. There should have never been the attack of October 7th. People forget that. But there was, and many people are killed. They're no longer hostages. I have people from Israel and others calling, begging me to get, we had also people there from the United States, just so you know. They're holding some so-called hostages from the U.S. But I've had mothers come to me and fathers crying, can I get the body of their son back? Can I get the body of their daughter back? That beautiful girl where they threw her in the car, pulled her by her ponytail and threw her in the car like she was a sack of potatoes. I said, what happened to her? Sir, she's dead. Like a 19, 20-year-old beautiful girl, and the way they treated her. And I just say it this very simply. Steve's got a job to do. He's a great guy, great negotiator, great person. They respect him over there already. It's what we needed over there. We have people that know everything about the Middle East, but they can't speak properly. They don't know. He's a great negotiator. That's what I needed. I could have sent that gentleman right over there, Hussein. He's a great negotiator. There are people, they're rare. Great negotiators are very rare, like a great surgeon. But we have the right person. But I tell this, I don't want to hurt the negotiation. If the deal isn't done before I take office, which is now going to be 2 weeks, all hell will break out in the Middle East. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. President.
You've done a great job.
Thank you.
I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is. And they should have given them back a long time. They should have never taken them. There should have never been the attack of October 7th. People forget that. But there was, and many people are killed.
Viewers, if you're wondering what the weather in your city is today, here's the weather update that's brought to you by Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, powered by Galaxy AI.
I will voice record or note assist, and we can transcribe that and you can use that as the intro to my show.
उस दिन सनसेट देखने छज्जे पे चढ़ा, टूट गया।
हाँ, तो किसने बोला घर की दीवार पे रॉक क्लाइंबिंग करने को?
सफीना बदतमीजी।
समझ गया। मेरे पास आप दोनों की प्रॉब्लम की मेडिसिन है। इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
Virat Kohli's poor form in the recently concluded Border Gavaskar Trophy series has left many contemplating just how much is left in the tank of the former India captain. Kohli scored 1 century at Perth, but the rest of his tour is best remembered for him consistently being dismissed by balls pitched outside the off stump. And while Kohli's efforts have not been in doubt, so pronounced have been his struggles that some have concluded that this is a mental block that he cannot possibly overcome. But he has now been offered some advice by former Australia captain Ricky Ponting, who believes that Kohli is trying too hard and that, in part, explains his struggles. The challenge is, and I can see it with Virat Kohli now, you can see how much he wants it. He's trying so hard that actually makes batting harder. The harder you try sometimes with batting, the less success you're going to have, Ponting said. Ponting added that Kohli is seemingly trying hard.
Night mode on Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra lets you capture stunning photos and videos even in the darkest settings. By reducing noise and enhancing details, it ensures that every shot is sharp, vibrant and beautifully balanced. Say goodbye to blurry, washed out night shots and hello to vivid, optimized imagery that truly brings your nighttime moments to life. Ready to experience the magic of nightography? Let's go!
Elaborate arrangements have been made for this year Vaikunth Ekadasi by TTD and the district administration. Sufficient police personnel were deployed at all the counters in Tirupati. There were 9 counters and 1 in Tirumala. We kept holding areas as well this year additionally, so that there is easy access into the queue counters. Unfortunately, at this particular location, Bairagi Pateda, there was some miscommunication as to the opening of the gate. So at around 7:45, when they opened the gate suddenly, there were, in fact, the gate was initially open to let one person go out because they were not feeling well, and it was open and then closed. Then there was a commotion among the people that gates are being opened. So then they rushed towards the gate, and then again they had to open the gate.
And there you go, a new way to search is here. Now you can quickly get an answer without leaving your feed. Circle to search with Google using your Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra.
Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 and Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, powered by Galaxy AI, bring you the latest news in a super efficient and summarized format from across the country, only on Republic TV.
If those hostages aren't back, I don't want to hurt your negotiation. If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East. And it will not be good for Hamas, and it will not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will break out. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is. And they should have given them back a long time. They should have never taken them. There should have never been the attack of October 7th. People forget that. But there was, and many people are killed. They're no longer hostages. I have people from Israel and others calling, begging me to get, we had also people there from the United States, just so you know. They're holding some so-called hostages from the U.S. But I've had mothers come to me and fathers crying, can I get the body of their son back? Can I get the body of their daughter back? That beautiful girl where they threw her in the car, pulled her by her ponytail and threw her in the car like she was a sack of potatoes. I said, what happened to her? Sir, she's dead. Like a 19, 20-year-old beautiful girl, and the way they treated her. And I just say it this very simply. Steve's got a job to do. He's a great guy, great negotiator, great person. They respect him over there already. It's what we needed over there. We have people that know everything about the Middle East, but they can't speak properly. They don't know. He's a great negotiator. That's what I needed. I could have sent that gentleman right over there, Hussein. He's a great negotiator. There are people, they're rare. Great negotiators are very rare, like a great surgeon. But we have the right person. But I tell this, I don't want to hurt the negotiation. If the deal isn't done before I take office, which is now going to be 2 weeks, all hell will break out in the Middle East. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. President.
You've done a great job. Thank you. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is. And they should have given them back a long time. They should have never taken them. There should have never been the attack of October 7th. People forget that. But there was, and many people are killed. They're no longer hostages. I have people from Israel and others calling, begging me to get, we had also people there from the United States, just so you know. They're holding some so-called hostages from the U.S. But I've had mothers come to me and fathers crying, can I get the body of their son back? Can I get the body of their daughter back? That beautiful girl where they threw her in the car, pulled her by her ponytail and
from Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Thank you for joining me and Samiksha and me on the Republic TV. Let's get you the news summarized with notices using Galaxy AI on Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Prime Minister Modi makes podcast debut with Zerodha's Nikhil Kamath. From politics to social media, Prime Minister talks about it all. BJP stages protests outside Kejriwal's residence over his insult to voters from Purvanchal. Republic gets back-to-back scoops on Delhi elections. Sources say Yogi Adityanath to be the star campaigner. An L&T chief 90-hour work week call. Economists, politicians and even actors wade into the debate. That was was the news summarized with notices using Galaxy AI on Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Let's start our big story of the day. And the breaking news that's coming in, Yogi has arrived at Prime Minister's residence to invite him for Mahakumbh. Viewers, earlier the Chief Minister also extended an invitation to Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Delhi Lieutenant Governor Vinay Kumar Saxena for the Mahakumbh 2025 to be held in Prayagraj. We're soon getting the visuals on our screen. Also going to try and go across to my colleague Harsha, joining us from 7LKM, and Aishwarya, our political editor. Harsha is joining us right now. Harsha, give us more details as we get the news that Yogi Adityanath has arrived at Prime Minister's residence to invite him for the Mahakumbh.
Yes, you have rightly pointed out. So right now we are reporting from outside 7LKM as Mahakumbh 2025 is very auspicious and at the grandest celebration is taking place in Prayagraj. All the preparations have already been done. We saw Yogi Adityanath visiting Prayagraj himself, offering prayers. And right now outside 7LKM, Yogi Adityanath has already arrived here at Prime Minister's residence to extend the invitation himself personally to Prime Minister to invite him for Mahakumbh 2025. Already Yogi Adityanath has also extended the invitation, invited Home Minister, President, Vice President also for the Mahakumbh 2025. And how grand this Mahakumbh 2025 is, that could be understood with the kind of preparation which has already been done in Prayagraj. And this time how almost 40 ministers have been given the duties to go to each and every state and UT and meet Chief Minister and also Deputy CMs and the Governor to meet all of them and personally invite for the Mahakumbh. This time the special attraction is also going to be the Northeast states. A special section has also been placed in Mahakumbh for the Northeastern states, depicting their cultural diversity and how important and relevant the Northeastern states also are. And that's the kind of the grandiosity of the Mahakumbh 2025. Not to forget, this is the Mahakumbh which is coming after 12 years, and that is the reason why this is very auspicious for UPCM Yogi Adityanath as well. Earlier, the last Mahakumbh was in 2013 during the regime of Akhilesh Yadav, but this after 12 years, the Mahakumbh, the preparations and the way the invites are being extended, this itself tells that how this Mahakumbh is being portrayed in its grandest way. I'll again ask my camera person to showcase the visuals from 7LKM, as already it's been 10 minutes. Yogi Adityanath arrived here at the residence of Prime Minister to invite him personally for Mahakumbh 2025. Not to forget that last time on December 13th, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Prayagraj. He also laid foundation stone of several schemes and inaugurated several projects in Prayagraj. And after that, when Mahakumbh will start, this will be Prime Minister's visit to Prayagraj, because this invitation is being sent out personally by UPCM Yogi Adityanath to Prime Minister. So this is the grandiosity of the Mahakumbh 2025, what we are talking about. Back to you.
All right, Harsha, we'll keep coming back to you for the latest on that story. Thank you for giving us those details as we see pictures of Yogi Adityanath, who's already arrived at Prime Minister's residence to invite him for the Mahakumbh. Viewers, our top story today, L&T Chairman S.N. Subramanian has sparked a massive controversy with his comments suggesting employees should work 90 hours a week and even on Sundays to remain competitive. In the video that has asked why L&T required its employees to work on Saturdays, Mr. Subramanian said, "I regret I am not able to make you work on Sundays, to be honest. If I can make you work on Sundays, I will be more happy because I work on Sundays also." He made a misogynistic comment by saying, "What do you do sitting at home? How long can you stare at your wife? And how long can the wives stare at their husbands?" Samiksha?
That's right, Rhythm. And let's once again tell our viewers that S.N. Subramanian has quoted a controversy. He's advocated for 90 hours work week. He's even gone on to say that he expects his employees to work even on Sundays, something which has drawn sharp remarks, responses, not just from the India Inc., but from celebrities and even politicians for that matter. But let's once again run our viewers through those statements that have been made by S.N. Subramanian, who earns 51 crore a year, which is 535 times more than what an average employee working at L&T earns. So he says, how long can wives stare at their husbands? This was a remark which reeks of misogynistic mindset of the L&T chairman. He says that Chinese workers put in 90 hours a week. So this is from that conversation he was having with his employees, where he said that he had earlier spoken to a Chinese professional who said that the Chinese work 90 hours a day. So this was spoken in that meet that he held with his staff. He's even gone on to say that I will be happier if I can make you work on Sundays. So it seems that this is an attempt to make it a new normal, attempt by the L&T chairman to make his employees work, or rather make the people of the country work even on Sundays. 90 hours a week, which is more than 14 hours a day. He says that Indians should work 70 hours a week to contribute to the nation's progress. Beg your pardon, this was a statement that earlier came in from the Infosys co-founder Narayan Murthy, who had pitched for a 70-hour work week, whereas we are seeing now S.N. Subramanian, who's called for a 90-hour work week. He's even gone on to say that one should work on Sundays as well. Let's also run through those statements that have been made by CEOs and co-founders of other startups and companies. It's Bhavish Agarwal, the Ola CEO, who says, do not think that work-life balance is the right construct. Saturday, Sunday off, not an Indian thing. So there we have even Bhavish Agarwal, the Ola CEO, who's tried to make it normal working on Saturdays and Sundays, not thinking that working for longer hours, the impact that it could have on one's mental health as well. Elon Musk, for that matter, the Tesla CEO, has said that he does not take rest. He sleeps, he wakes up, and he gets back to work. He said you just have to put in 80 to 100 hours a week every week, which is equal to working over 14 hours a day. Let's also run through other statements that have been made. Kotak AMC MD Nilesh Shah, a market expert, who says one generation of Indians should be working for 84 hours a week to ensure faster growth of the country. So you have not just one, two, but several of these leaders from the market, from market experts, India Inc. leaders, and now we have L&T chairman for that matter, Anupam Mittal, Shadi.com founder. He says people should put in 80 hours of work in a week early on in their career. So Anupam Mittal also in similar vein pitching for 80 to 100 hours work week. Adit Palij, the Zepto CEO, says candidly working 80 to 100 hours a week, we could have probably worked half of that with a lot less stress. So you have these leaders from the Ola CEO to Zepto CEO, the L&T chairman, and Narayan Murthy, the co-founder of Infosys for that matter, who's pitched for 70 hours a day. So that is a statement that came in from the Zepto CEO. In fact, additionally to add here, the statement that came in from the L&T that has defended the statements of Subramanian, S.N. Subramanian for that matter, saying that it aligns the statements of S.N. Subramanian, they align with the policy of the company, and that it is a step in the right direction. But let's also talk about the actor who's waded in this whole controversy. It's Deepika Padukone, who's unequivocally expressed that how this statement must be condemned in harshest of terms, given that working for 90 hours a week or even 70 hours a week would lead to burnout, mental stress, and that it's no way pragmatic. She says, and I quote here, shocking to see people in senior positions making such statements. So we have Deepika Padukone also leading from the front, coming out in the open and saying that this statement must be condemned. Jwala Gutta, the Olympian, who's also weighed in, she says, why shouldn't why shouldn't he stare at his wife? Well, this is with reference to that misogynist remark that was made by S.N. Subramaniam, who says, who spoke about this in his meeting with his staff. Jwala Gutta further says that sad that educated people not taking mental health seriously. So she's spoken on two issues. One, of course, on that 90-hour work pitch, and the second, the misogynist remarks that were made by the L&T MD. Let's also read out that statement from Harsh Goenka, the India Inc. leader. He's chairman of RPG Enterprises. He's known to be very vocal about these issues. He says, why not rename Sunday to Sun Duty? So making it amply clear that yes, 90-hour work week is definitely not feasible. He's also gone on to say that work-life balance isn't optional, it's essential. So making a stand clear that there needs to be a balance when it comes to personal life and workplace. Rohit Kapoor, the Swiggy CEO, says that you do not need to hustle and work till 11 a.m. So Rohit Kapoor, Swiggy CEO, also making that statement that some days you need to work till late, but not daily. So definitely it cannot be a new norm. We cannot make this the new normal. Working 90 hours a day or even 90 hours a week or even 70 hours a week for that matter. Rhythm, over to you. But yes, these statements that came in from the L&T chairman, Sridhar Vemu or even Narayan Murthy for that matter, they only highlight that there are some leaders who are trying to make it a new normal, working for 90 hours a week or even 70 hours a week. Rhythm.
Oh yes, former Union Minister, viewers, BJP leader KJ Alphonse on L&T chairman 90-hour week has also commented, I think the statement makes no sense. When I was the Union Minister, he says, I used to go to the office alone on Sunday, but expecting it from everyone is way too much. He says, demanding from the entire country that one should work 90 hours is ridiculous. Former Union Minister questions the 90-hour week suggestion. He says that he used to go to work on Sundays alone, but expecting it from everyone is too much. And let's go across to that reaction coming in from him.
See, India is only a 3 trillion economy. I mean, China is much, much bigger, 5 times, 6 times bigger. And the Honorable Prime Minister wants India to become a developed nation by 2047. Our per capita income is below 2,400, while that of China is around 13,500, and Malaysia, Indonesia is about 25,000, US is about 70,000. Therefore, India needs to work much harder to become a developed nation. I have no doubts on this. I've been an IAS officer. I worked extremely hard in the IAS for 27 years. Then I quit and joined politics. When I joined politics, I worked even much harder than as an IAS officer. Then when I became a union minister, I was sleeping maybe 4 hours a day, not more than 5 hours. I don't think any minister in the Modi government sleeps more than 5 hours. They work more than 18 hours. So hard work is extremely important. I would go even on a Sunday to my office as a union minister, but no staff. I said, no staff will come. I will go alone to my office. That's a day for me to think, for me to organize my ideas. But I don't really think that's fair to the rest of the employees. I think we need a balance. I think people need to really balance between family, happiness, their children, and all that is extremely important.
It's a debate that sparked off a controversy. Joining Samiksha and me, Dr. Ranjit Mehta, CEO, Secretary General, PhD, CCI. Mr. Mehta, I ask you your first comments, your first views on this. Is this feasible? Is this overwhelming? Is this going to be helping in a work-personal life balance?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me here. It's a very important subject. I think that expecting from the employees to work for around 90 hours is beyond imagination. I understand that. However, I feel that it is very important to work hard in today's highly competitive environment. At the same time, many studies show that when people work for long hours continuously, then their efficiency also goes down. At the same time, their motivation levels also go down. So now people at the top, when they are CEOs, in that case, they have a privilege, rather I would say, working for 90 hours. But the same cannot be expected from the employees who are growing who have their children to look after, who have other responsibilities, social responsibilities back at home. I think that if we inspire people rather than forcing them to work for 90 hours, it is the inspiration of a leader, if that can be there, then people automatically, when you are inspired to work for longer hours, it is coming from within. So then that way the productivity will also go up. However, making it a new norm or making it a normal routine is not sustainable in the long run. So the productivity will go down, efficiency will decrease. So therefore, it is very important to have that work-life balance. You cannot compare. Most CEOs, they work for very long hours. I understand. I also work for more than 70 hours, but that does not mean that I expect people to work in the same manner, because we have to have some standard timing so that they, like in a city like Delhi or Mumbai, where people spend around 4 to 5 hours just on commuting, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. So it is very difficult to expect these kind of things. However, I believe that hard work is extremely important. This kind of culture needs to be created in the organization by motivating people, by inspiring people, by giving them rewards for what they are doing.
Sure.
Not that it can be a new norm.
Yes, but doctor, hypothetically, if we were to assume that if one works for 90 hours a week, do you even think that's feasible? One, and also talk to us about this burnout here, which we have been speaking about. How many hours does one really need to work every day, or even a week for that matter, to ensure that there is no burnout, so as to say?
First of all, working for 90 hours is not sustainable, because people of all ages are there in the workforce. There are people who are newly married. There are people who are doing many other, in the sense they have many responsibilities back at home. There are people who come from very far off places at work. So therefore, this is not sustainable in the long run. Secondly, definitely if you really by force or by, if you really force people to work for longer hours, in that case, there are then heartburns, there are stress levels go up. In that case, employees' efficiency finally will come down. I think, this cannot be a rule. However, I think that, it has to be self-driven by the employee. The motivation level has to be so high that people are ready to put in that much of work. Because reward system, it is both ways. Like if the reward systems are so high that people are really working, there are many people who work. I know many of the people in organizations in my whole career I have seen. They have been working very, very hard. But at the same time, they are being paid for that. So to expect this from each and every employee, I think it is beyond imagination. It is not sustainable in the long run. This is not going to work. Finally, people have their families.
That's
they have
right, Dr. Mehta.
Other things to do at home, because as a human being, we are social people,
and
right?
As you're speaking, Dr. Mehta, the fact of the matter is that this is something that has to be left for each one to be taking a decision on themselves. I thank you for being with us. I also want to move on. Viewers, call us if you have any views. One of the callers who's joining us from Pune, Shubhangi. Shubhangi, your first words on a 90-hour week. Do you think this is progressive? Do you think nation building can be helped by this?
Yeah, good evening. No, I really don't think so that nation building is depend on this, because I don't think it's more hours, more productivity. In fact, it might just reduce. You should work hard, not work long. Long period of time can burn you out, and everybody requires a work and life balance. So all these big people like Elon Musk or Narayan Murthy or Mr. Goenka who want more productivity should consider that they can, instead of this one set of people working for 90 hours, they should have 3 sets of people working for 8 hours a day, and this way they can have 24 hours a day and 168 hours a week, and that way productivity will grow. Plus, it's a win-win situation for an employer, for an employee. Everybody is happy, and nobody gets burned out, and the employees have proper work and life balance. They have good health, good well-being. It's good for their peace of mind. So I really don't think that 90 hours a week is feasible in most of the cases.
Yes, appreciate you speaking to us, Shubhangi. Let's go across to Krishna. He's a caller joining us from Bengaluru. Krishna, do you have enough motivation at your workplace to work for 90 hours a week?
Good evening. See, the answer is, I think, very simple. 90 hours a week for 365 days a year is not something which is sustainable. And I don't think that's what Mr. Subramaniam talked about or Mr. Narayan Murthy talked about. So I have worked in corporate for, certain periods of time in the work schedules. Certain products have to be released to the market. Customers are waiting. And there are a couple of weeks where, me and my team have worked for 16 hours a day. But that's for 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks max, and not more than that. But then, of course, everyone takes a break for a couple of days, a compensatory off, and those kind of things, and they rejuvenate and come back. So I don't think anybody intends to, and it's not practical and sustainable, as the previous speaker said. But at the same time, if we are talking about 8 hours a week, the communist way of working, I think those days are over. I don't think that's going to be possible. The labor law says 48 hours a week. Yes, 48 hours a week is the peak. But there are definitely organizations which will require you to work at specific periods of time. And I have done it myself. I asked my team to work, but then they will be adequately compensated by giving time off for all the extra hours they put in. They go with take a break, go with the family. They are incentivized for doing that, taking that break, all that. But
that's right.
If we are going to say that we are going to form a norm across the country, and we are all going to...
And I thank our guests for joining us today. Also, the calls that are coming in. This is something we're going to continue looking at on whether this is really going to help in nation building. The Work for Life debate sparked off a big controversy. It's something Samiksha and I are going to come back to you, viewers, throughout the day to get you more updates on it. Now, moving on to the other top focus. A massive fire broke out in a 3-story building in Jammu and Kashmir's Ramban. According to sources, properties worth 75 lakh rupees were gutted in the blaze. Take a look at this report for more.
A massive fire ripped through a 3-story building in Jammu's Ramban. According to sources, the fire engulfed the entire building in the Dungal Budni area of Rajgarh Tehsil, reducing properties worth rupees 75 lakh to ashes.
Massive fire has engulfed a house in the Rajgarh Tehsil of the Ramban district late last night. The incident has been reported at the house of Abdul Jabbar. This was a 3-story house and his property worth more than 75 lakh has been razed to the ashes. The cause of the incident is being probed by the Jammu and Kashmir police.
According to the building's landlord, the fire spread in no time, consuming the entire structure within hours. However, no casualties were reported in the fire. A probe was underway to determine the cause of the fire.
Viewers, as we come to the end of the news week, let's record and summarize with Note Assist using Galaxy AI on Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said with an expected turnout of 40 crore devotees this year, the Mahakumbh is projected to generate up to 2 crore lakh in economic growth. In addition, he also revealed this year 2024 has already seen over 16 crore devotees visiting Kashi Vishwanath in Varanasi and more than 13.55 crore devotees in Ayodhya from January to September. And there you have it, the precise reading of the news in a simple format using Galaxy AI on Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. We'll be back with the headlines in a few minutes.
आइस बोला था लाने को, लद्दाख चला गया। पूछा फोन पे इतना बिजी क्यों है, तो क्या बोला तू? हाँ, माउंटेन्स वर कॉलिंग।
डॉक्टर जहांगीर उस दिन सनसेट देखने छज्जे पे चढ़ा, टूट गया।
हाँ, तू किसने बोला घर की दीवार पे रॉक क्लाइंबिंग करने को?
सफीना बदतमीजी।
समझ गया। मेरे पास आप दोनों की प्रॉब्लम की मेडिसिन है। इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रूंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रूंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
Virat Kohli's poor form in the recently concluded Border Gavaskar Trophy series has left many contemplating just how much is left in the tank of the former India captain. Kohli scored 1 century at Perth, but the rest of his tour is best remembered for him consistently being dismissed by balls pitched outside the off stump. And while Kohli's efforts have not been in doubt, so pronounced have been his struggles that some have concluded that this is a mental block that he cannot possibly overcome. But he has now been offered some advice by former Australia captain Ricky Ponting, who believes that Kohli is trying too hard and that, in part, explains his struggles. The challenge is, and I can see it with Virat Kohli now, you can see how much he wants it. He's trying so hard that actually makes batting harder. The harder you try sometimes with batting, the less success you're going to have, Ponting said. Ponting added that Kohli is seemingly trying hard not to poke at balls outside the off stump, but said he believes a mental block has formed that leads to him falling for the same trap. Even the way that he's getting out, you can
Ladies and gentlemen, with the voting day for Delhi elections approaching closer, the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party have indulged in a massive face-off. The latest over fake votes claimed by Kejriwal, Delhi BJP today held protest against AAP for allegedly making fake claims regarding registration of votes and voters from Uttar Pradesh and Bihar in the electoral rolls ahead of assembly polls. Hundreds of protesters were seen raising slogans against AAP Supremo Arvind Kejriwal, with some attempting to breach the security barricade near Kejriwal's residence.
ये सोच एक सत्ताधारी, एक राज्य की सत्ताधारी दल के प्रमुख की ये सोच, और वो भी एक ऐसे राज्य की सत्ताधारी पार्टी जो कि देश की राजधानी है। आम आदमी पार्टी के प्रमुख पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने जिस तरीके से यूपी बिहार के लोगों को लेकर आपत्तिजनक टिप्पणी करने का काम किया है, इसको कतई बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जा सकता। यूपी बिहार के लोगों को फर्जी कहना, और ये किस तरीके की बांटने की सोच है। क्या चाहते हैं पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी कि भारत में अब ड्यूअल सिटीजनशिप लागू कर दी जाए क्या आप देश के नागरिक अलग और राज्य के नागरिक अलग? ये देश की वो राजधानी है जहां पे देश भर से लोग आते हैं, और किस तरीके का संदेश आप उस राजधानी से आप देना चाह रहे हैं?
बिहार और यूपी के लोग, दिल्ली कोई अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की जागीर नहीं है। दिल्ली इस देश की राजधानी है। एक तरफ तो जब नड्डा साहब कहते हैं, रोहिंग्या का सवाल उठाते हैं, तो उसके साथ पूर्वांचली को जोड़ते हैं, और दूसरी तरफ बिहार और उत्तर प्रदेश के लोगों के बारे में अपमानजनक, अपमानित करने वाला बयान वो देते हैं। बिहार और यूपी के लोग अपने सम्मान और स्वाभिमान के साथ जीते हैं, और इस बार के चुनाव में बिहार और उत्तर प्रदेश के लोगों को जो अपमानित करने का काम अरविंद केजरीवाल ने इस तरह का बयान देके किया है, उनको उस बार पता चलेगा कि उनका कोई लेना देना पूर्वांचली से, किसी भी दिल्ली वासी से, किसी से उनका कोई लेना देना नहीं है। उनका लेना देना है किस तरह सत्ता में आना और कमाई करना और घोटाला करना।
Now it all started with Kejriwal accusing the BJP of manipulating the electoral rolls by registering fake voters from Uttar Pradesh and Bihar in his constituency, New Delhi, ahead of assembly polls. Meanwhile, BJP in their retort to AAP's allegations have said Kejriwal insulted people from UP and Bihar by calling them fake voters, and that the voters of Delhi will teach them a lesson. Listen in.
हमने कभी भी फर्जी वोट बनवाने की बात नहीं की। हमने हमेशा कहा यूपी बिहार पूर्वांचल के रहने वाले, दिल्ली में रहने वाले 30-30, 40-40 साल से रहने वाले लोगों के वोट नहीं कटने चाहिए। हमने ये कहा। क्या भारतीय जनता पार्टी को इस नाम पे छूट मिलनी चाहिए कि वो दिल्ली में यहां फर्जी वोट बनवा ले?
उनको अपमानित करने का काम किया है तो वो जेपी नड्डा हैं, जिन्होंने पार्लियामेंट के अंदर उनको रोहिंग्या बुलाया, उनको घुसपैठिया बुलाया। तो भाजपा मुद्दे पर जवाब दें, क्यों इतनी भारी तादाद में ये लोगों के नाम काटने की, नाम एडिशन की, नाम डिलीशन की एप्लीकेशन आ रही है।
दिल्ली के पूर्वांचल के नेताओं से पूछना चाहता हूँ
जब पार्लियामेंट में जेपी नड्डा जी ने पूर्वांचलियों को घुसपैठिया बता दिया था, तब मनोज तिवारी कहाँ छिपे बैठे थे? इनका पूर्वांचल मोर्चा कहाँ गायब हो गया था? जब महाराष्ट्र के अंदर इनकी सरकार द्वारा, सरकार के दौरान, और गुजरात में जहां इनकी सरकार है वहां पे पूर्वांचल के भाइयों को पीट पीट के भगाया जा रहा था, तब ये पूर्वांचल मोर्चा कहाँ गया था? ये मनोज तिवारी कहाँ गायब हो गए थे?
केजरीवाल भ्रम पैदा कर रहे हैं। चुनाव आयोग स्पष्ट कर चुका है, किसी तरह की कोई ऐसी बातचीत नहीं हुई है। लेकिन केजरीवाल साहब, आप वही है ना जो पूर्वांचल का लगातार अपमान करते रहे। आप कहते थे कि पूर्वांचल से 500 का टिकट कराकर लोग दिल्ली आ जाते हैं और यहां मुफ्त इलाज करते हैं और यहां राशन तोड़ते हैं। आपने बार बार पूर्वांचल का अपमान किया।
तो जब कह रहे थे कल की बिहारियों की वोट बना दी, यूपी वालों की वोट बना दी, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी चिल्ला चिल्ला के पूर्वांचल के लोगों का इस तरह से तिरस्कार कर रहे थे, उनको कभी बिहारी बता रहे थे, कभी उनको यूपी वाले बता रहे थे। बड़ी शर्म की बात है। क्या दिल्ली के अंदर भाजपा यूपी के और बिहार के वोटर की वोट नहीं बना सकता? ये अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की घटिया सोच है कि वो अगर तो आता है बांग्लादेश का घुसपैठिया रोहिंगा तो उसका स्वागत करते हैं, और अगर यूपी से और बिहार से आता तो उनको अलग अलग नामों से पुकारते हैं। ये बड़ी शर्म की बात है अरविंद केजरीवाल और उनके साथियों के लिए।
It is evident that Mr. Kejriwal and his colleagues are really hassled, and perhaps they are seeing the writing on the wall. That is why these odd, strange statements are emanating from them. All sorts of excuses, all sorts of statements. Vote deletion as an excuse. Sometimes they are talking about the Purvanchal people, people who are voters of Delhi, who have contributed to the growth of Delhi. These kind of things, should they speak about them? It's condemnable.
जो हिंदू नेता है जो अब तक रामलला के दर्शन नहीं कर गए, क्यों नहीं गए? और क्या वो लोग अब कुंभ की सिग्निफिकेंस को समझ पाएंगे? देखिए, हमारे यहाँ बाध्यकारी नहीं है, यही तो हमारी महानता है। हम बाध्य नहीं करते। भाई जो जाएगा पुण्य का भागीदार बनेगा, जो नहीं जाएगा अपने कर्मों की सजा भुगतेगा। वो अब तक रामलला के दर्शन करने क्यों नहीं गए? क्योंकि नैतिक रूप से इतना साहसी नहीं है।
Virat Kohli's poor form in the recently concluded Border Gavaskar Trophy series has left many contemplating just how much is left in the tank of the former India captain. Kohli scored 1 century at Perth, but the rest of his tour is best remembered for him consistently being dismissed by balls pitched outside the off stump. And while Kohli's efforts have not been in doubt, so pronounced have been his struggles that some have concluded that this is a mental block that he cannot possibly overcome. But he has now been offered some advice by former Australia captain Ricky Ponting, who believes that Kohli is trying too hard and that, in part, explains his struggles. The challenge is, and I can see it with Virat Kohli now, you can see how much he wants it. He's trying so hard that actually makes batting harder. The harder you try sometimes with batting, the less success you're going to have, Ponting said. Ponting added that Kohli is seemingly trying hard not to poke at balls outside the off stump, but said he believes a mental block has formed that leads to him falling for the same trap. Even the way that he's getting out, you can see he doesn't want to be playing at those balls. He's trying not to do it, but there's some mental block there that makes him feel for that one outside the off stump, Ponting said. So what exactly is the solution? In Ponting's opinion, he believes Kohli should take a break and try to come back mentally refreshed. He had a mental break in the past where he stepped away for a while and then came back and found the love for the game again. If he wants to continue playing Test match cricket, he might just need to have a little spell outside for a while, Ponting said. Kohli's form has been up and down across formats in recent years, but many thought his retirement from T20I cricket would lead to him finding more form in Test cricket. However, he has struggled majorly in all the 10 tests that India played to conclude their games in the 2023-25 edition of the World Test Championship. And given the next WTC final will be held in 2027, by which point Kohli will be 39, it is easy to see why there have been rumblings about phasing him out from Test 2. That is perhaps the next great challenge that lies in front of current head coach Gautam Gambhir, figuring out exactly when to phase out Virat Kohli.
Some news in brief now. In a landmark achievement, the Indian Navy sailing vessel Tarini with 2 women officers successfully crossed international dateline, marking a significant step in its global circumnavigation journey.
We're about to cross the international dateline. The time right now is 1900 hours of 9 Jan 2025. So as we cross the international dateline, we will gain 24 hours, which means we will shift our clocks from 1900 hours of 9 Jan 2025 back to 1900 hours of 8 Jan 2025. That means we get to live this day all over again.
Wonderful news there. Now, viewers, a thick layer of fog enveloped the national capital this morning with visibility reducing to zero. Delhi recorded a temperature of 9.6 degrees Celsius at 5:30 a.m. today, as per the data of the IMD. As per predictions of the Meteorological Department, the minimum expected today is 6 degrees, while the maximum temperature to expect to hover around 20 degrees Celsius with very dense fog. A devastating fire engulfed a 3-story building in the Dungal Bundi area of Tehsil Rajgarh district Ramban, leaving property worth 75 lakhs reduced to ashes. The fire spread uncontrollably, consuming the entire structure within hours. No casualties were reported, but the families have suffered immense losses. Authorities are investigating the causes. BJP National President JP Nadda on Thursday targeted AAP chief Arvind Kejriwal over his remarks on fake voters and said people of Delhi will definitely give him a reply by uprooting him from power. Ahead of assuming office on 20th of Jan, US President Donald Trump has once again claimed that Russian President Putin wants to meet him. Here's that report.
US President-elect Donald Trump has claimed that a meeting is being arranged between him and Russian President Vladimir Putin. However, Trump has not provided a specific timeline for the talks.
President Putin wants to meet. He's said that even publicly. and we have to get that war over with. That's a bloody mess.
Trump's return to the White House has raised hopes for diplomatic resolution to end Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. Trump's advisors have reportedly floated proposals that could see large parts of Ukraine effectively ceded to Russia for the foreseeable future. Since the Russian invasion began, the United States under Democratic President Joe Biden has committed over $175 billion in aid to Ukraine, including over $60 billion in security assistance. However, it is uncertain if the aid will continue at that pace under Trump, who has said he wants to bring the war to a swift end.
There's a raging debate nationwide over the 90-hour work week statement given by the L&T chairperson. We'll get you the latest reactions on that. Also, the top story coming from the national capital, Yogi Adityanath leads several rallies. He begins the campaign blitz ahead of the assembly elections in Delhi for the BJP. We'll get you all that and much more at 6 p.m. on Live and Breaking with me, Rakshita Mishra.
Elaborate arrangements have been made for this year Vaikunta Ekadasi by TTD and the district administration. Sufficient police personnel were deployed at all the counters. In Tirupati there were 9 counters and 1 in Tirumala. We kept holding areas as well this year additionally, so that there is easy access into the queue counters. Unfortunately, at this particular location, Bairagi Pateda, there was some miscommunication as to the opening of the gate. So at around 7:45, when they opened the gate suddenly, there were, in fact, the gate was initially opened to let one person go out because they were not feeling well, and it was opened and then closed. Then there was a commotion among the people that gates are being opened. So then they rushed towards the gate, and then again they had to open the gate. This is where the lapse has occurred. So unfortunate incident, but we have taken all the measures. Honorable CM also has spoken to all of us, and he has asked us to make all measures to ensure the injured are taken care of. Honorable CM himself is coming now to visit the patients and to the location and to review the situation. The situation has been brought under control at yesterday 9:30 itself. And in all the queue counters, the tickets have been distributed by 12:30 a.m., 1 a.m. It was completed, in fact. So everything is under control. There is no any other issue since 9:30 p.m. yesterday. So in right time, all the injured have been brought to the hospital and they have been treated. This is though it is an every year event, this year additional forces have been deployed both in Tirumala and Tirupati by the TTD administration and also the district administration. New measures have been taken up, all facilities have been provided. I don't think there will be any other incident. We have taken all the measures now. Yesterday whatever has happened was unfortunate. There's some lapse in communication there. We have tightened up everything. No further lapses.
More RAF or police or anybody else
support?
It is not required right now. We are having sufficient force. Totally 5 persons have died at that particular stampede, and 1 person not related to the stampede has died. I mean, it's not out of stampede. She was unwell. So the person is from Salem, 1 person. Whoever is not related to the stampede, and out of the 5, 1 person is from Palachi. And then the remaining 3 are from Vishakhapatnam and 1 from Narsipatnam. We have informed the relatives. Postmortem is underway. The deceased will be sent to their respective locations. It will start from 10:30 to 11 a.m. today. Yesterday it took some time for identification because we had to reach upon to their relatives, and not because of the postmortem has not been delayed because of it. Postmortem generally happens in the morning. We cannot do in the night.
Viewers, if you're wondering what the weather in your city is today, here's the weather update brought to you by Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, powered by Galaxy AI.
There's a raging debate nationwide over the 90-hour work week statement given by the L&T chairperson. We'll get you the latest reactions on that. Also, the top story coming from the national capital, Yogi Adityanath leads several rallies. He begins the campaign blitz ahead of the assembly elections in Delhi for the BJP. We'll get you all that and much more at 6 p.m. on Live and Breaking with me, Rakshita Mishra.
elaborate arrangements have been made for this year Vaikuntha Ekadasi by TTD and the district administration. Sufficient police personnel were deployed at all the counters in Tirupati. There were 9 counters and 1 in Tirumala. We kept holding areas as well this year additionally, so that there is easy access into the queue counters. Unfortunately, at this particular location in Bairagi Pateda, there was some miscommunication as to the opening of the gate. So at around 7:45, when they opened the gate suddenly, there were, in fact, the gate was initially open to let one person go out because they were not feeling well, and it was opened and then closed. Then there was a commotion among the people that gates are being opened. So then they rushed towards the gate, and then again they had to open the gate. This is where the lapse has occurred. So unfortunate incident, but we have taken all the measures. Honorable CM also has spoken to all.
There's a raging debate nationwide over the 90-hour work week statement given by the L&T chairperson. We'll get you the latest reactions on that. Also, the top story coming from the national capital, Yogi Adityanath leads several rallies. He begins the campaign blitz ahead of the assembly elections in Delhi for the BJP. We'll get you all that and much more at 6 p.m. on Live and Breaking with me, Rakshita Mishra. A very good evening, viewers. You're watching Republic TV and I am Rakshita Mishra with you. And at 6 p.m. we are going to get you a power-packed bulletin tracking all the top stories of the day at this hour, and also the fastest live updates, breaking news only on Republic TV, viewers. We'll start with the top story of the day that we are tracking, the 90-hour work week debate. If 70-hour work week debate had triggered such a big row, a controversy, it's now the L&T chairperson's statement, viewers, that is now dividing the industry leaders, sports persons, people from the world of entertainment, all reactions coming in. What do you think of it? Of course, you can always tell us online on the platforms. Right now, we will be tracking this story, the second one, of course, the face-off in Delhi. The latest round is on the Purvanchalis, BJP versus the Aam Aadmi Party ahead of the assembly elections. Also, Yogi Adityanath joins in as the star campaigner. He enters this campaign for BJP. He leads it with the mega rallies planned in Delhi. He's in Delhi today. We'll get you the more visuals from that, him meeting the Prime Minister as well. Let's take a look at the headlines at 6. Larsen & Toubro chairperson Subramaniam calls for a 90-day work week, sparking a massive debate on work-life balance. After BJP claims the Aam Aadmi Party insulted the voters of Purvanchal, Chirag Paswan wades in, says Kejriwal is frustrated. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath to be the star campaigner in the national capital ahead of the Delhi assembly elections.
पॉलिटिक्स में आने का मतलब चुनाव लड़ना ही जरूरी थोड़ा है जी। तो लोकतंत्र की एक प्रक्रिया है जी कि मौका मिलेगा लड़ लीजिए। काम तो है जन सामान्य के दिलों को जीतना, और जन सामान्य के दिल जीतने के लिए जिंदगी उनके बीच में जीनी पड़ती है जी। जिंदगी को उनके साथ जोड़ना पड़ता है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi makes his podcast debut on Zero Dha. Co-founder Nikhil Kamat's show gets candid about hardships and success. Viewers, just take a close look at this statement that we are going to now read out for you. This is the debate that is raging across the country, the 90-hour week. What do you do sitting at home? This is one part of the statement by Mr. Subramaniam, the LT L&T chairperson. What do you do sitting at home? The next one. How long can you stare at your wife? How long can you stare at your wife on a Sunday? How long can wives stare at their husbands? This is another point of controversy that was part of his statement. Go to the office and start working. Chinese workers put in 90 hours a week. He also said that I wish I could make you work on Sundays as well. Now this comes after Narayan Murthy's 70-hour work week statement that had, of course, ruffled a lot of feathers. People were debating left, right and center, but this is a 90-hour work week proposal by another industry leader. And for a little discussion on that, viewers, we have special guests joining us on the broadcast. Right now, viewers, I'm being joined by Dr. Falguni Vasavara, who is a motivational speaker. She is a TEDx speaker. And she has a very strong opinion on this. And we are also being joined by Dr. Samir Gupta, Director of Cardiology, joining us from Noida. Thank you so much, both of you. I'll just start with Dr. Vasavara. Ma'am, this is a statement now that has divided the netizens, and there are a lot of criticism that is coming in, but we have some people like Harsh Goenka also from the industry who are criticizing this statement. Ma'am, how do you see this?
Extremely insensitive, especially when coming from the top, because whatever comes from the top defines the culture of the organization, and the toxicity will be too much to handle if people at top have such opinions. Lacks empathy, completely tosses out the work-life balance debate issue, mental health, physical health, stress, anxiety, and suddenly brings a quantity over a quality kind of a representation of the work culture and policies as told by the leader of Larsen and Toubro. I'm taken aback because these are men sitting at top positions, decision makers. And when he says, what will you do staring at each other, maybe the partners at home on Sunday, this screams of his privileged life, right? And this privileged life is a problem when it makes other things invisible to you. There are women with children, there are men who are caregivers to their families, there are tons of jobs to be done to live your life. So I do believe that work is a very important part of your life. It makes your living more comfortable and more easy, but work is not the only part of life and living. There is life beyond work that needs to be lived well by both the genders. And I think this is extremely a problematic statement. And this is an ideal case scenario of how you are not using your privileged position to make better work environment, culture, and ethics for your employees rather than tossing it around and blinding yourself.
Right, ma'am. Dr. Gupta, I would like to know your opinion on this because as a cardiologist, as someone from the medical field, it actually takes a toll, not mentally and physically also. In fact, there was a UN report also that said that, excessively working, for such long stretches of, hours, it could actually kill you. It was a sort of a wake-up call for many people, and it actually had a lot of coverage. What do you really feel about this statement by Mr. Subramanian?
There's a lot of data to show that working long hours increases the element of stress in your body. And this stress is not just mental stress. Obviously you're working long hours, you're getting sleep deprived. If you're working 90 hours a week, if you're working a 7-day work week, it's about 13 hours. If you're working a 6-day work week, that's about 15 hours of work. So you're basically working from 6 a.m. to almost 9, 10 p.m. And this can cause significant increase in stress in your body. It increases the risk of high blood pressure. Chronic stress can lead to high blood pressure. Your circadian rhythm, which is your sleep, also gets affected. It can increase your risk of diabetes. It can increase your risk of heart disease in the long term. And also you make poor lifestyle choices, right? When you're working such long hours, you're not going to concentrate that much on your diet. Your exercise may get compromised. Your lifestyle will get compromised. And I'm not talking about the personal life with your family. That's very, very important to have a good holistic happiness in your life. You identify yourself not just from what you do for a living, but also your family, your wife, your parents, your daughter, your son, your children, your your social circle, that all gets affected. And there's a lot of data to show that those people who have close family bonds live longer. Those people who have close family bonds, they have a lower risk of heart disease. So, so stress definitely increases. Your lifestyle gets affected, your risk of diabetes, high blood pressure, that gets affected. That can increase and in turn can lead to an increase in heart disease, heart attacks, and even death.
Absolutely, of course. It's of course a cause of concern, and that's why we have this debate over the social media. And of course, we will continue to have more conversations on this on our channel, viewers. But thank you so much, Dr. Vasavada and Dr. Gupta, for joining us with your inputs and your thoughts on this story. Right now, we quickly shift our focus to the other stories of the day that we are tracking. We go back to the politics. And ladies and gentlemen, with the voting day for Delhi elections approaching closer, BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party have indulged in a massive face-off now. The latest war is over the fake voter claim by Arvind Kejriwal. Now, Delhi BJP unit today held massive protests against Aam Aadmi Party for allegedly making fake claims regarding registration of voters from people from Uttar Pradesh and Bihar in the electoral rolls. Now, ahead of the polls, hundreds of protesters from the BJP were seen raising slogans against the Aam Aadmi Party supremo Arvind Kejriwal, with even some attempting to breach the security barricade near Kejriwal's residence. First up, let's take a listen in to what Arvind Kejriwal exactly said and what was LJP MP Chirag Paswan's retort.
यूपी आसपास के स्टेट से ला के फर्जी वोट बनवा रहे हैं ये लोग। तो हमने उनको ये कहा कि इस तरह के लार्ज स्केल पे एडिशन और डिलीशन हो रही है, तो 23,000 ये और 5,500 ये 18.5% वोट अगर किसी विधानसभा की इधर से उधर कर दी जाएंगी तो फिर चुनाव थोड़ी है, फिर तो केवल तमाशा है, नाटक है।
आम आदमी पार्टी के प्रमुख पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने जिस तरीके से यूपी बिहार के लोगों को लेकर आपत्तिजनक टिप्पणी करने का काम किया है, इसको कतई बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जा सकता। यूपी बिहार के लोगों को फर्जी कहना, और ये किस तरीके की बांटने की सोच है। क्या चाहते हैं पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी कि भारत में अब ड्यूअल सिटीजनशिप लागू कर दी जाए क्या आप देश के नागरिक अलग और राज्य के नागरिक अलग? ये देश की वो राजधानी है जहां पे देश भर से लोग आते हैं, और किस तरीके का संदेश आप उस राजधानी से आप देना चाह रहे हैं?
And now the attack is this war is only escalating, viewers, and Kejriwal has claimed to attempting to remove 5,500 votes in New Delhi Assembly constituency, adding that the BJP is bringing people from UP and Bihar to create fake voters. Take a listen in to more reactions that have come in now from the Aam Aadmi Party first.
हमने कभी भी फर्जी वोट बनवाने की बात नहीं की। हमने हमेशा कहा यूपी बिहार पूर्वांचल के रहने वाले, दिल्ली में रहने वाले 30-30, 40-40 साल से रहने वाले लोगों के वोट नहीं कटने चाहिए। हमने ये कहा। क्या भारतीय जनता पार्टी को इस नाम पे छूट मिलनी चाहिए कि वो दिल्ली में यहां फर्जी वोट बनवा ले?
उनको अपमानित करने का काम किया है तो वो जेपी नड्डा हैं, जिन्होंने पार्लियामेंट के अंदर उनको रोहिंग्या बुलाया, उनको घुसपैठिया बुलाया। तो भाजपा मुद्दे पर जवाब दें, क्यों इतनी भारी तादाद में ये लोगों के नाम काटने की, नाम एडिशन की, नाम डिलीशन की एप्लीकेशन आ रही है।
दिल्ली के पूर्वांचल के नेताओं से पूछना चाहता हूं, जब पार्लियामेंट में जेपी नड्डा जी ने पूर्वांचलियों को घुसपैठिया बता दिया था, तब मनोज तिवारी कहाँ छिपे बैठे थे? इनका पूर्वांचल मोर्चा कहाँ गायब हो गया था? जब महाराष्ट्र के अंदर इनकी सरकार द्वारा, सरकार के दौरान, और गुजरात में जहां इनकी सरकार है वहां पे पूर्वांचल के भाइयों को पीट पीट के भगाया जा रहा था, तब ये पूर्वांचल मोर्चा कहाँ गया था? ये मनोज तिवारी कहाँ गायब हो गए थे?
So now BJP, viewers, is playing this up by saying that the Aam Aadmi Party has insulted the people of Purvanchal, the people of Bihar, and they also say that they are going to get a befitting reply by the people in Delhi in this election. Listen in to the BJP reactions.
केजरीवाल भ्रम पैदा कर रहे हैं। चुनाव आयोग स्पष्ट कर चुका है, किसी तरह की कोई ऐसी बातचीत नहीं हुई है। लेकिन केजरीवाल साहब आप वही है ना जो पूर्वांचल का लगातार अपमान करते रहे। आप कहते थे कि पूर्वांचल से 500 का टिकट कराकर लोग दिल्ली आ जाते हैं और यहां मुफ्त इलाज करते हैं और यहां राशन तोड़ते हैं। आपने बार बार पूर्वांचल का अपमान किया।
तो जब कह रहे थे कल की बिहारियों की वोट बना दी, यूपी वालों की वोट बना दी, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी चिल्ला चिल्ला के पूर्वांचल के लोगों का इस तरह से तिरस्कार कर रहे थे, उनको कभी बिहारी बता रहे थे, कभी उनको यूपी वाले बता रहे थे। बड़ी शर्म की बात है। क्या दिल्ली के अंदर भाजपा यूपी के और बिहार के वोटर की वोट नहीं बना सकता? ये अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की घटिया सोच है कि वो अगर तो आता है बांग्लादेश का घुसपैठिया रोहिंगा तो उसको स्वागत करते हैं, और अगर यूपी से और बिहार से आता तो उनको अलग अलग नामों से पुकारते हैं। ये बड़ी शर्म की बात है अरविंद केजरीवाल और उनके साथियों के लिए।
It is evident that Mr. Kejriwal and his colleagues are really hassled, and perhaps they are seeing the writing on the wall. That is why these odd, strange statements are emanating from them. All sorts of excuses, all sorts of statements. Vote deletion as an excuse. Sometimes they are talking about the Purvanchal people who are voters of Delhi, who have contributed to the growth of Delhi. These kind of things, should they speak about them? It's condemnable.
Now, with less than a month to go for the Delhi elections, the BJP has decided to hold several rallies in the national capital, which are going to be led by the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, and also UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Yes, Yogi Adityanath is going to be the star campaigner for the BJP, and today he is in the national capital. He has met the Prime Minister to invite him for the Mahakumbh as well. Now, to tell you more about this campaign plan of the blueprint that the BJP is going to follow, well, there are across 7 parliamentary constituencies, 11 districts and 33 tehsils. There are going to be these star campaigners who will be holding the campaign. Important point to note here is that ahead of the elections, and we will be getting you more live updates. We were from 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. I believe my colleague Harsha is joining us on the broadcast from outside the Prime Minister's residence. Harsha, well, Yogi Adityanath has now been given this big role. He has been a firebrand leader of the BJP, and now he's going to kickstart the poll blitz in the national capital for the assembly elections.
So yes, as far as the Delhi election is concerned, so all will be the star campaigners, and everyone is eyeing and who all could be the star campaigner for national capital for Delhi elections. As we very far know that the elections will are to happen on 5th of February, but before that, the leaders who will be the star face, that's more important, because already BJP CEC is today, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be reaching at around 7 o'clock. We saw the BJP core group meeting happening today afternoon. Strategically, BJP is focusing on the star campaign and also on the election manifesto. Exactly what could be the promises which will be made to the people of Delhi, to the public of Delhi. But before that, Yogi Adityanath being here in national capital is of lot of importance, because as we speak right now, Yogi Adityanath is here at 7 LKM to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It's been almost 1 hour that Yogi Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is inside the residence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, because a very important meeting regarding Mahakumbh is taking place. We already know how grand is this Mahakumbh 2025 for everyone, and exactly after 12 years this Mahakumbh has come. Earlier it was in 2013, this time in 2025. All the ministers in UP have been given the duty and responsibility to go to each and every state and UT and meet the CM and Deputy CM and also extend the invitation. So right now it's been 1 hour. Yogi and Prime Minister Narendra Modi meeting underway. Back to you.
Of course, could be a massive boost for the BJP's campaign as it eyes to return to power after years. Thank you so much, Harsha, for joining us with those details coming in on that story. Right now, we will be getting you the final story of the day that we're tracking. Well, it's Prime Minister's podcast debut. His youth-first approach is more visible than ever before. Today, the Prime Minister made his podcast debut on Zerodha co-founder Nikhil Kamat's show. The 2-hour candid conversation that saw the Prime Minister sharing several anecdotes, including aspects on his childhood, education, entering politics, and even the hardest times in his life, personally and as a politician as well. And the world knows him to be one of the most successful politicians, political leaders, and India, of course, knows him as one of the most revolutionary prime ministers. The podcast, like never before, is a look into Narendra Modi, who exactly Narendra Modi is. Listen in to what the Prime Minister said when he was asked by Mr. Nikhil Kamath about his 3 terms as a Prime Minister.
पहली टर्म में तो लोग मुझे भी समझने की कोशिश करते थे और मैं भी दिल्ली को समझने की कोशिश कर रहा था। पहले और दूसरे टर्म में मैं बीते हुए कल के संदर्भ में सोचता था कि पहले यहां थे, अब यहां जाएंगे, पहले इतना होता था, अब इतना करेंगे। तीसरे टर्म में मेरी सोच का दायरा बदल चुका है, मेरा हौसला ज्यादा बुलंद हो चुका है, मेरे सपनों का विस्तार हो चुका है, मेरे अरमान बढ़ते चले जा रहे हैं। कहने का तात्पर्य है कि मुझे 2047 विकसित भारत मतलब कि भाषण नहीं है जी, एक एक चीज को, समस्याओं से मुक्ति, टॉयलेट 100% हो जाना चाहिए, बिजली 100% होनी चाहिए, नल से जल 100% हो जाना चाहिए। सामान्य मानवी को अपनी सरकार से मांगने के लिए भीख मांगनी पड़े क्या? ये कोई अंग्रेजों का राज है क्या? उसका हक है। 100% डिलीवरी होनी चाहिए, 100% लाभार्थियों को होनी चाहिए, 100% बेनिफिट पहुंचने चाहिए, कोई भेदभाव नहीं होगा। और वही तो सच्चा सामाजिक न्याय है, वही सच्चा सेक्युलरिज्म है। तो उन चीजों पे मैं बल देता रहता हूं और उसका ड्राइविंग फोर्स है एस्पिरेशनल इंडिया। मेरे लिए एआई का मतलब है एस्पिरेशनल इंडिया। और इसलिए अब मैं सोचता हूं कि मेरा 2047 में यहां है तो मैं 2025 में यहां हूं तो अभी कितना बाकी रहा। पहले सोचता था पहले से कितना आगे ही निकला, अब सोच रहा हूं यहां हूं कल तक कहां पहुंचूंगा। तो अब मेरे दिमाग में 2047 के संदर्भ में ही मेरी सोच विचार चलता है। तो मेरा तीसरा टर्म 2 टर्म से अनेक गुना अलग है, बिल्कुल बदलाव है और एक बहुत बड़े सपने वाला है।
आइस बोला था लाने को, लद्दाख चला गया, पूछा फोन पे इतना बिजी क्यों है, तो क्या बोला तू? हाँ, माउंटेन्स वर कॉलिंग।
डॉक्टर जानगी उस दिन सनसेट देखने छज्जे पे चढ़ा, टूट गया।
हाँ, तू किसने बोला घर की दीवार पे रॉक क्लाइंबिंग करने को?
सफीना बदतमीजी।
समझ गया। मेरे पास आप दोनों की प्रॉब्लम की मेडिसिन है। इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
If those hostages aren't back, I don't want to hurt your negotiation. If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East. And it will not be good for Hamas, and it will not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will break out. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is. And they should have given them back a long time. They should have never taken them. There should have never been the attack of October 7th. People forget that. But there was, and many people are killed. They're no longer hostages. I have people from Israel and others calling, begging me to get, we had also people there from the United States, just so you know. They're holding some so-called hostages from the U.S. But I've had mothers come to me and fathers crying, can I get the body of their son back? Can I get the body of their daughter back? That beautiful girl where they threw her in the car, pulled her by her ponytail and threw her in the car like she was a sack of potatoes. I said, what happened to her? Sir, she's dead. Like a 19, 20-year-old beautiful girl. And the way they treated her. And I just say it this very simply. Steve's got a job to do. He's a great guy, great negotiator, great person. They respect him over there already. It's what we needed over there. We have people that know everything about the Middle East, but they can't speak properly. They don't know. He's a great negotiator. That's what I needed. I could have sent that gentleman right over there, Hussein. He's a great negotiator. There are people, they're rare. Great negotiators are very rare. like a great surgeon, but we have the right person. But I tell this, I don't want to hurt the negotiation. If the deal isn't done before I take office, which is now going to be 2 weeks, all hell will break out in the Middle East. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. President.
You've done a great job.
Thank you.
I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is. And they should have given them back a long time. They should have never taken them. There should have never been the attack of October 7th. People forget that. But there was, and many people are killed. They're no longer hostages. I have people from Israel and others calling, begging me to get, we had also people there from the United States, just so you know. They're holding some so-called hostages from the U.S. But I've had mothers come to me and fathers crying, can I get the body of their son back? Can I get the body of their daughter back? That beautiful girl where they threw her in the car, pulled her by her ponytail and threw her in the car like she was a sack of potatoes. I said, what happened to her? Sir, she's dead. Like a 19, 20-year-old beautiful girl. And the way they treated her. And I just say it this very simply. Steve's got a job to do. He's a great guy, great negotiator, great person. They respect him over there already. It's what we needed over there. We have people that know everything about the Middle East, but they can't speak properly. They don't know. He's a great negotiator. That's what I needed. I could have sent that gentleman right over there, Hussein. He's a great negotiator. There are people, they're rare. Great negotiators are very rare, like a great surgeon. But we have the right person. But I tell this, I don't want to hurt the negotiation. If the deal isn't done before I take...
When in the newsroom, it is not that simple to summarize a story that is breaking. With the Notices feature powered by Galaxy AI on Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6, you can make a long story short and format it into a clear, easy to review summary. Galaxy AI is here.
Come to the end of this news wheel, let's record and summarize with Notices using Galaxy AI on Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said with an unexpected turnout of 40 crore devotees this year, the Mahakumbh is projected to generate up to rupees 2 lakh crores in economic growth. In addition, Yogi Adityanath revealed that the year 2024 has already seen over 16 crore devotees visiting Kashi Vishwanath in Varanasi and more than 13.55 crore devotees in Ayodhya from January to September. A concise reading of the news in a simpler format using the Galaxy AI on Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. We'll be right back with headlines in just a few minutes.
उस दिन सनसेट देखने छज्जे पे चढ़ा, टूट गया।
हाँ, तू किसने बोला घर की दीवार पे रॉक क्लाइंबिंग करने को?
सफीना बदतमीजी।
समझ गया। मेरे पास आप दोनों की प्रॉब्लम की मेडिसिन है। इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आपके जो विरोधी हैं महाकुंभ पे या तो चुप है, कुछ कह नहीं रहे हैं, खुलकर समर्थन नहीं कर रहे, या तो फिर वक्फ के साथ खड़े हैं जो कह रहे हैं कि कुंभ उनकी जमीन पे हो रही है।
मैं तो कभी कभी आश्चर्य होता है, ये वक्फ बोर्ड है या कोई माफियाओं का बोर्ड है, भू माफियाओं का बोर्ड बन गया।
अरे
याद रखना, एक एक इंच लैंड लेंगे।
सवाल मेरा है, वो कहते हैं कि ये हमारी धार्मिक अधिकार, हमारा धार्मिक अधिकार, हमारी धार्मिक अधिकार हमसे कैसे खींची जा सकती?
जब इनका बीज नहीं फूटा था, हमारे कुंभ की परंपरा उससे पहले से।
Thank you for joining us on Republic TV. Let's get you the news summarized. Using Galaxy AI on Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. PM Narendra Modi makes podcast debut with Zerodha's Nikhil Kamath. From politics to social media, Prime Minister Modi talks about it all. BJP stages protest outside Kejriwal's residence over his insult to voters from Purvanchal. Republic gets back-to-back scoops on Delhi elections. Sources say Yogi Adityanath to be the star campaigner. L&T defends chief's 90-hour work week call. Economists, politicians and even actors wade into the debate. That was the news summarized on Noticist using Galaxy AI on Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Let's start our big story for the day. Viewers, in a big breaking news, leaders are arriving at the BJP headquarters for the CEC meeting ahead of the Delhi polls. In fact, this is the third part of the meeting that took place earlier today in the morning at BJP chief JP Nadda's National Capital residence, where even the Union Home Minister pulled up to discuss the party's strategy going further into the pacing Delhi Assembly elections. Scheduled for the 5th of February, counting scheduled on the 8th of February, the BJP is going all out with meetings on meetings to discuss their strategy to pace into the Delhi Assembly polls to defeat the main contender, Aam Aadmi Party. We're also being joined by my colleague Harsha live from New Delhi to give us more updates on the story. These are the visuals of BJP President JP Nadda arriving for the BJP CEC meet. Harsha will join us shortly, live from New Delhi, from the heart of where the action is happening to get us more on the story. The BJP is slated to discuss its path moving forward into the rigorous Delhi Assembly polls. Now remember, viewers, just today, BJP held one more meeting, the part one of this CEC meeting at JP Nadda's New Delhi residence. Harsha, tell us more about this meeting. You've been tracking it for us since morning, and now another meeting has cropped up for the BJP, the CEC meeting, and they're going to discuss their path moving forward in the Delhi Assembly elections. Tell us more about this. So yes, the Chief Election Commission meeting, the Central Election Committee meeting, the Central Election Committee meeting of the BJP has commenced at the BJP national headquarters. All the leaders have arrived who are the core members of the CEC for further discussion on the Delhi candidates, the remaining seat candidates, and also on the manifesto and who all could be the star campaigners. The meeting will commence at around 7 o'clock because the wait is there of the Home Minister and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We have got to know all the important leaders have already arrived. BJP National President JP Nadda has already arrived. BJP Delhi President Viren Sachdeva has already arrived along with it. Vijendra Panda, Vinod Tavade, Dushyant Gautam, Atul Garg, Iqbal Singh Lalpura, Bhupendra Yadav, Arun Singh, Satyanarayan Jatia, Sudha Yadav all have arrived at the BJP national headquarters for the CEC meeting. Also the MPs will also be reaching there. Alka Gujar has arrived, Harsh Malhotra has arrived, and the other leaders are already on their way. They will be reaching the BJP national headquarters. This afternoon we saw that BJP core group meeting took place at the residence of JP Nadda, where HM Home Minister was also there, and there the 7 MPs of Delhi were present in that core group meeting. And today this CEC is happening late in the evening to decide on the remaining candidates for the Delhi election, the high-stake battle of national capital. Already the countdown has begun. The election is going to happen on 5th of February. The dates have been announced. The campaigns already have started in full swing. But yes, BJP is yet to release its manifesto, and for manifesto very precisely and strategically, the CEC has to decide what will be the poll promises what BJP is going to do to the people of national capital. And that is the reason this meeting will begin as soon as the Prime Minister will arrive at the national headquarters of the BJP. Everyone is waiting for HM and PM to arrive so that the meeting could commence. And once the meeting begins, there will be discussion on the remaining candidates for the remaining seats, which is yet not announced, as BJP till now has only released one list for Delhi. Remaining seats, remaining candidate lists is yet to be decided, and for that this very important meeting has been called. Back to you.
Right, Harsha. Thanks very much for joining us on the broadcast this evening. But for now, we'd be moving on to some other breaking news that we're tracking at this hour. Sukhbir Singh Badal, the chief of the Shiromani Akali Dal, has resigned, and his resignation has in fact been accepted by the committee of the Shiromani Akali Dal. He tendered his resignation over the cases of sacrilege during his tenure in Punjab. That's Sukhbir Singh Badal, the Shiromani Akali Dal chief, whose resignation has now been accepted. We're also being joined by my colleague Lalit live from Chandigarh to get us more on the story. Lalit, और बताइए इस बारे में, शिरोमणि अकाली दल के चीफ की रेजिग्नेशन, सुखबीर सिंह बादल की रेजिग्नेशन एक्सेप्ट कर ली गई है. आप हमें और डिटेल्स दीजिए इस स्टोरी के बारे में. ललित.
देखिए, अगर फिलहाल आपको बता दें कि जो सुखबीर सिंह बादल है, शिरोमणि अकाली दल के जो प्रधान थे, उन्होंने 16 नवंबर को इस्तीफ़ा है वो दिया था, और जो शिरोमणि अकाली दल की वर्किंग कमेटी है उसकी आज बैठक हुई है, जिसमें इस इस्तीफ़े को अब मंजूर कर दिया गया है. आपको बता दें कि जिस तरह से जो अकाल तख्त साहब है, जो कि सिखों की सबसे रिलीजियस बॉडी है, आदेश दिए गए थे कि जल्द जो इस्तीफ़ा है उसको मंजूर किया जाए. उसके साथ साथ जो पार्टी की रिकंस्ट्रक्शन है, जो पार्टी की मेंबरशिप है, उसको फिर से शुरू किया जाए. तो इस बाबत है जो इस्तीफ़ा पिछले 2 महीनों से लंबित पड़ा था कमेटी के पास, आज उस इस्तीफ़े को मंजूर कर दिया गया है. उसके साथ साथ सर्वसम्मति से ये भी कहा गया है कि 20 जनवरी के बाद है वो पंजाब में जो शिरोमणि अकाली दल की जो मेंबरशिप ड्राइव है वो शुरू की जाएगी. जी.
Right, Lalit, thanks very much for joining us on the broadcast this evening with all the updates that you got us. For now, viewers, it's time to move on and look at another very interesting controversy that has been sparked by the Larsen and Toubro chairperson S.N. Subramanian, who has advocated for a 90-hour work week, a whooping 90-hour work week. Netizens have gone crazy over the claim and they have been reacting ever since morning. He suggested a 90-hour work week and work even on Sundays to remain quote-unquote competitive. In the video, when asked why Larsen & Toubro required its employees to work on Sundays, Mr. Subramanian said, and I'm quoting him here, that I regret I'm not able to make you work on Sundays, to be honest. If I can make you work on Sundays, I will be more happy because I too work on Sundays. He further made a very misogynistic comment stating that how long can you stare at your wife? What do you do sitting at home? And how long can the wife stare at you? We're in fact being joined by an ex-L&T employee, Parvati Iyer, who was an L&T employee in the early 90s, who is going to speak to us about this. Parvati, welcome to Republic TV. Tell us more about what this means. How can this take a toll on people who work in the company and beyond? In fact, there are UN reports, WHO reports that suggest that so many people in years are killed because of the illnesses that they suffer because of long working hours. Parvati, tell us more about this.
Good evening. It's a privilege and honor to be on your show. Thank you so much for inviting me. I have been an employee. In fact, not just me, my husband also has been part of L&T. We are a part of the L&T family from the early 90s for more than a decade. And to tell you, the culture has been extremely good with L&T, though the working hours were about 10 hours a day on an average, 10 to 12 hours, not more than that. And we had a 5-day working per week. So this statement by the chairman, I'm sure he has not really meant what he wanted to say. Because 90 hours per week, I'm sure it's not practical at all for anybody to that extent, you know. And frankly, as an employee, or more so as a woman employee, I feel that it's not about just the husband looking at the wife or the wife looking at the husband at home. More than our professional requirements, we also have the personal requirements, and added to that, the social requirements are also there. So all put together, I think what makes an employee happy at the end of the day is how well he can balance his personal and professional life. And to do that, I'm sure 90 hours per week is not, practical at all.
Right, Parvati, thanks for answering that. In fact, I also want to speak to you about what is the notion. Do you think that if there is work that is extended, work hours which are extended, do you think that a pay parity for the amount of work that is being asked out of employees can do justice? Or